Okay, so this is what we're going to do today, everyone. Can I get all of your attention, please? This week we're going to look at rendering. And I know that most of you already have been introduced to rendering. This is more of a, I guess, summary slash recap on a few basic rendering elements. Like, I'm talking the most basic you could possibly get with Maxwell to get a render that's at least halfway decent, just so that you can see the quality of the structure in some kind of context, okay? So ultimately, I'm going to quickly review setting up the scene, dropping it into a site model, showing you a little bit about the sky and environment settings and materials, and then outputting a quick render. And there's really not much more to it. I'm giving you the library of materials, and I'll show you how to maybe change the colors a little bit here and there, but generally not very much. So with that said, I guess I'm really kind of curious how many of you have experience with Maxwell. Please raise your hand. So generally speaking, all of you except for a small handful. Okay. So there are two things that I'm going to show you this week. I'm going to show you Maxwell, and then I'm also going to show you Lumion. And so the two of them, I mean, they're pretty strong in their own right. Maxwell has the ability to render things that are very realistic if you're very, very good at them, but it has an extremely steep learning curve. Lumion has an extremely low or shallow learning curve. But it doesn't do photoreal. It also doesn't allow you to export this exact view that you're seeing here with vector work so that you can do overlays and stuff like that. So once we get into that on Thursday, I'll talk a little bit more about those limitations. But it will output a render in 10 seconds or 60 seconds max that this will take 10 hours to render. So it could really increase your workflow if you're doing pictorial renders. And I say pictorial because it doesn't really do analytical renders. All right. So with that said, I guess we'll jump into the file. Do any of you have any questions about this so far? Did I make it clear that we're going to look at this today and then Lumion on Thursday?
Is it easy to
This or Lumion?
this?
Yeah, they're both. I mean, what I'm showing you is easy, but you're not going to be able to get anything that's higher quality than this.
That is good.
If you do it in, well, I mean, it might look okay, but it really is not. It's not. This is not very good.
How are we going to create a portfolio? Just save as the image? If we want to.
We'll get there. You're getting ahead of yourself here.
It's a nice one like that.
All right.
That's nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, the key to a nice render that you guys should all be aware of is that it really has very little to do with the quality of the render. It has everything to do with the materials you choose. The rest of it, I mean, I could ruin this render by trying to throw on like concrete and other weird metallic materials. But if you keep it to simple grayscale materials and all you focus on is texture and reflection, generally speaking, you're getting a very good academic render out of it. So, yeah, anyway, any other questions before we go on? Are you all booted up and you have the file open?
Yes.
Okay.